You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Let's get into Pitt's offense now, which is definitely the stronger of the two units that we're going to talk about today. Pitt's offense is led by redshirt freshman quarterback Eli Holstein, and Eli Holstein has been one of the top freshmen in the ACC, if not the country. His stats through 6 games are very, very impressive. Over 1,700 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 63.5% completion rate. So he's accurate. He can sling it, generally makes good decisions. I call that a pretty solid quarterback. You tell me, right? Now, he's also pretty mobile. Keep that in mind. He is second on the team with 266 rushing yards. And just keep in mind that in college, again, everything is wacky with some stats. When he gets sacked, that counts as negative rushing yards. So really, he's got more than 266, right? Because he's obviously been sacked and you lose yards on the sack. As far as, I don't want to get into a too big of a Eli Holstein debate here. He's had a terrific first half of this season. Do I think it's on the level of Cam Ward at Miami or even Kyle McCord for Syracuse for that matter? No. But he is certainly in the running for all ACC at the midway point. And by the way, they got the third best passing attack in the ACC with over 300 pass yards per game. This is not going to be an easy test for Syracuse. In fact, if you look at their remaining schedule, this might be their second toughest opponent left. Not just their second toughest opponent, but the second toughest offense they're going to face. Miami at the end of the year is going to be a whole different beast, but that's for the end of the year. We're talking about the Pitt offense today, led by their freshman quarterback, Eli Holstein. Now, Pitt is not one-dimensional. They can run the football at a pretty high level. Pitt averages over 175 rushing yards per game. That's 7th in the ACC. I mentioned Holstein already, but their running back, Desmond Reid, is an all-purpose back. He's got nearly 500 rushing yards on the ground, and he averages 6.3 yards per carry. And once again, by the way, he is second on the team in catches right now with 25. So he's almost like LaQuinn Allen in the sense that he can do a little bit of everything for this Pitt offense, Desmond Reid. Now, because of Reid and because of Holstein's mobility, this is something that you might see often with Pitt. They are going to run a lot of RPOs. If you do not know what an RPO is, then I will explain it to you. It basically means the quarterback gets the snap and has a couple of options. He can hand the ball off to his running back, or he can throw a quick, usually it's a quick slant route to a receiver. You know when an RPO is an RPO when the receivers are running routes. That's how you know. You see receivers running routes, but there is a handoff on the play. That is what you call an RPO. Syracuse at times will run an RPO as well. And also because of Eli Holstein's mobility, sometimes it's not just an RPO, it's a triple option because Holstein can keep it himself as well. So it's a little bit complex, this Pitt offense. They are coming off a down game. I do have to mention that. They are coming off a down game. Granted, they won. They did win. Remember, priority number one is you got to win, even though it might not be pretty all the time. They beat Cal before the bye week, 17-15. It was by far the worst game for Pitt's offense. They were shut out in the second half. So the question becomes, is this a sign that the Pitt offense is regressing? Which would obviously work in Syracuse's favor, right? If Pitt's offense suddenly isn't very good anymore, then we'll certainly take that, right? Or it's just a down game, just a bad week. Well, I'm choosing to believe that it was just a down week. That's what I'm choosing to believe. They've had 5 excellent games on offense, but then they struggle in one half against Cal. I am not going to sit here and try to tell you guys that, maybe Pitt's not that good. Okay, Pitt's a ranked team for a reason. They got an excellent quarterback, excellent running game, solid weapons. This is a very good team that beat Cal by 2 points. And by the way, Cal is just the team this year that they just can't get it done. They just can't get it done, except if they're playing Auburn. But other than that, they just find ways to lose that team. They're always so close, but they just whatever. That's a whole separate conversation for when Syracuse has to play Cal later on in the year. But I think that Pitt just had a down game on offense against Cal. I don't think that is a sign of regression coming for Pitt. Hopefully it is, though. That'd be great if they were regressing for Syracuse, because that increases our chances of winning. Overall, when you look at the Pitt offense and you look at this team in general, I'll repeat what I said earlier in the segment. This is one of the toughest opponents remaining on Syracuse's schedule. If Syracuse can find a way to slow down this Pitt offense, preferably you just hold them under 30, you're going to have a good shot at winning this game. And it's a huge one if you can get it done. I imagine that if Syracuse wins this game, they're going to be ranked, right? And if they're ranked at this point of the year at 6-1 with their remaining ACC schedule, their non-conference game is UConn at home. You got to be feeling pretty good about Syracuse's chances going forward. This is one of the biggest games of the season for the Orange, and it starts with slowing down the Pitt offense. I don't think they're going to stop them completely. The defense is certainly going to bend, but the question is, will they break or will they hold them? That is the question right there. Well, I guess two questions. Is Pitt regressing? Can Syracuse step up to the challenge?